Hey, what's going on, you guys? Hey, welcome back to another episode of iTrack. Huge shout out to all the iTrack fan man that is just tapped in. A major shout out to all the members. If this is your first time here, what we like to do is take a look at the most interesting and creepy videos from all around the internet and kind of figure out for ourselves whether these are fact or fake. In today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at all the missing scientists, what they knew, and why they're not here anymore. If we do any of that, do make sure to smash that like button, hit that hype button, hit that subscribe button, and let's go ahead and get right into it.
People are starting to notice and become very concerned about the amount of U.S. scientists that have either gone missing or been found unalived under very mysterious circumstances. This topic was talked about so much that mainstream media eventually picked it up, and it prompted the FBI to do its own investigation into these cases. Each scientist that went missing or was found unalived had something in common, and that's that they were all tied to what we're being told was highly sensitive U.S. research. This information has led people to speculate that these scientists were targeted, but why they were specifically targeted is still being theorized. Some people believe that these scientists discovered evidence that an asteroid would hit Earth in the near future, causing severe damage, and that information was being covered up. Others think that these scientists were doing research into things that led them to information that someone didn't want them to know, like zero-point energy or anti-gravity technology. Leave a like and let me know what you think about all this in the comments.
And I want to say something else. One of the things that I learned from whistleblowers from the Cabal itself is that they have to work within something they call the rules. And this is very, very important. So I really want to make sure that this gets into the film. The rules are a body of spiritual principles that they must follow in order to be allowed to exist. Now, what do I mean by allowed to exist? I mean that they are aware that there are benevolent forces that will prevent them from achieving their goals unless we give them permission to enslave us. Now think about that. Well, I didn't give them permission. So why did they put this plan for 3 world wars on display in a book that's hanging there open behind glass in the British Museum Library of London? And those 3 world wars that they're outlining are exactly World War I, World War II, and the war on terrorism. Because the rules state that they have to tell us what they're doing. Therefore, if we allow it to happen, we have consented to tyranny, we have consented to enslavement.
Wow, my mind is blown. It is not just David Wilcock that has just passed away, but other experts and colleagues in his field have also passed away. And they were all associated or featured in the show Ancient Aliens on the History Channel. And now it's caused plasma physicist John Brandenburger. He posted this AI image and this message that says, "Dear friends, I have been told I am in danger as an anti-gravity and Mars investigator. But I tell you now that all humanity is now in danger. But so are the cover-up helpers. I urge a blanket amnesty for all in the cover-up who end it. Take this amnesty while you still can." Now, this is considered a conspiracy theory. It is what Dr. John Brandenburger is alleging. But we also have a scientist who was working on anti-gravity. Anti-gravity, isn't that what Amy Escargot, one of the scientists who allegedly took her own life, was working on? You remember Amy, she's one of the scientists who have mysteriously disappeared or passed away. Yes, she was working on anti-gravity. And if you watch the videos I've posted of her, she was claiming that she was about to allegedly expose it to the public via her Institute of Exotic Science in Huntsville. So if Dr. John Brandenburger has also been researching anti-gravity and Mars, I think it's legitimate for him to feel scared. So the rabbit hole took me down to this. All these men are linked to the show Ancient Aliens on the History Channel, and they have all allegedly passed away. And you guys know that I have to say allegedly, right? And I have to say that this could all be a conspiracy theory. It is all alleged.
Now, if you've been tapped into my channel long enough, you already know there's no such thing as a coincidence. All these events that are happening right in front of our face are definitely happening for a reason, and with enough eyeballs, hopefully we get more answers than questions.
Elon Musk is a con man. He is a cult operative and he is a front man for these companies. He's not really running them. I've been tracking Musk for a very long time, years. It was announced that he was going to buy Twitter and I thought, this is a scam, so let's have a look at what form the scam takes. Well, it didn't take long. So the story was that Musk is a free speech absolutist. Now, that's an absolute joke. He was buying Twitter because he wanted free speech. He said that the deep state basically was controlling Twitter before. Well, that was bloody obvious. And he released these so-called Twitter files to release documents and emails confirming that the deep state was controlling what could be posted on Twitter. And so what you're saying, Mr. Musk, is the deep state controlled Twitter before you took it over. Oh, yeah. So why did they bloody sell it to you then? Because they didn't need to. And this is the other thing, you know. People say Musk bought Twitter. Officially, yes, but there was a lot of other of the usual suspects who have absolute contempt for freedom of speech who also bought it with you. People like Saudi princes, for instance, who love freedom of speech. Larry Ellison and all these other characters. Before he bought it, a lot of the alternative media had been skeptical of the bloke. They were saying, oh no, this bloke's a transhumanist. He wants to fuse humans with AI and all that stuff. The moment he bought Twitter and allowed people back on, he was suddenly one of us. All the questions about Elon Musk and his agenda that were asked before were no longer being asked because now he's one of us.
And my question to you is, do you think he's hating, or is he bringing up some pretty valid points?
Story goes that in the 1960s there was a black man in Africa who came in with abilities complementary to those of Jesus. And he was performing miracles. He was starting to get people to listen to what he had to say. And the Cabal tried to kill him. They shot him repeatedly, sawed up his body into a whole bunch of pieces, and fly his body parts to all corners of the world, where then these very radioactive shielded containers turned them into ash. So if they destroyed all the tissue in all these places across the world, maybe they could defeat him. Well, he then regenerated in their offices and was fully fine, fully intact. But the sad part is that he said, you guys so badly do not want me to be here that I am not going to be able to do any more. You're going to get what you want, but bear in mind that in the future, many others like me will be coming, and when they do, you will not be able to stop us.
Wow.
I feel like things are getting weird in the universe, or maybe it's the universe trying to tell us something. I don't know, but take a look at this footage. This is actually coming from Creekside Veterinary, captured on April 9th, 2026. One of their clients, Angus cows, had a baby, and that baby ended up being a Cyclops cow. And come to find out, this is a rare genetic mutation, but it does happen in animals. Interesting. Take a look at this, comment below, tell me what you think.
Now, don't get me wrong, that thing definitely looks creepy, but you almost kind of feel a little pity for it. Looks like it can't even be helped or help itself.
I still find it hard to believe that Kim Jong-un's older brother was supposed to be the one to run North Korea, but then he got caught sneaking into Disneyland in Tokyo with a fake passport, which pretty much led to his family disowning him and banning him from their country. And then years later, Kim Jong-un had him taken out, which is a real disappointment because Kim Jong-nam said he would have made North Korea a lot more like China instead of a prison. And you gotta imagine he was telling the truth and would have been the much better option, because I mean, he was sneaking in to Disneyland.
Earlier footage from Peru showed a woman with unusual hands, but a similar case from Colombia drew even more attention for a different reason. This time, the woman's hands appeared normal. Instead, it was her facial structure that raised concern. During a televised segment, the news anchor lightly touched the woman's cheek. The skin visibly shifted and reshaped, almost like soft clay being pressed. The change happened instantly and returned just as quickly. In this clip, two men were sitting together casually when one of them reached over and pulled the other man's nose. Instead of the skin stretching naturally, an entire outer layer lifted and peeled away. A CCTV clip from New York City showed two figures walking quickly down a quiet street late at night. Their movements appeared deliberate, as if they were trying to avoid attention. At first glance, they looked human, but viewers who zoomed into the footage noticed unusual details. Their eyes and ears appeared distorted, not matching normal human features. The proportions looked off, giving the impression that their forms were being imitated rather than natural.
I can tell you for a fact that that chick definitely looked like she had one of those ultra-realistic masks on.
This is not so good. New research published in the JAMA Network Open found excessive daytime napping in old age particularly is linked to a wide range of health issues. The study found that longer and more frequent naps in adults older than 56 were connected to higher mortality. Researchers said that morning naps in particular are a marker of increased mortality risk later on in life.
But I need my nap.
So stay awake.
I get up early with the kid.
Yeah,
early mornings, late nights, sometimes.
Well, maybe you can be exempted. You work late. Yeah, we get that.
We'll see what happens.
This occurred on January 2012. Someone placed a camera in the forest to see what kind of creatures, deer, raccoons, or whatever they could find at night. They wanted to get familiar with the forest, but they captured something very unexpected. This orb or light or being, I don't know what it really is. Can somebody tell me what they think it is? Is it a spirit? As you see, the deer sense something, but it looks like they can't see it either. The cameras did capture it though, but what is it?
Well, you don't see that every day. Check that out. Is that a satellite? Oop. Oh, man. We're going to zoom out. Oh, hell. It's a satellite balloon. Up there it said Sataloons. Big old satellite. Brought up there with a big old balloon. Is that true? That's the other thing, too, that's kind of strange. If you Google satellites or like pictures of satellites, right? There's no real pictures of satellites. That's crazy. There's supposed to be how many, like thousands up there? And there's no pictures of it. Look at that. Zooming out. I have no idea. What do y'all think? Are they balloons? That looks crazy as hell. What is that? Looks like a security camera from like 1973. Spinning around a circle. Y'all tell me what you think. Are satellites real? Are they just balloons? I don't know. Leave a comment. Let me know.
He's not human. He's a jinn.
That dude's possessed. I didn't want to look at him because I thought he was like mental issues.
In Islam, that's a spirit made of fire. Some call them demons because they can transform into humans.
His head was like 180 degrees turning with me.
That is, to the best of my knowledge, that is a photograph of a demon's face, a demonic visage. And I'll tell you why. I had clients in Coventry, Rhode Island. They had a severe haunting. It was actually mostly poltergeist activity. Objects were being tossed around while we, the investigating team, were there. Well, homeowner called me at it was 2:30 in the morning. Said, "Man, we got to get out. It's really doing things. It's throwing stuff, and we got to get out." And they gathered up their children and just left with, just grabbed a few belongings. Now, I don't even know if they thought of locking the door, but the homeowner, Tony, he left his camera on a table at the bottom of the stairwell. He wanted that because he had paranormal evidence on it. He didn't want everybody to think they were crazy.
Right.
So he went back into the house just before they pulled out. He went back, took his camera, and then he saw this horrid thing, something like a man standing at the top of the stairs. He took a picture, and he left. And that's the picture.
It's chilling.
It's somewhat translucent. It's not human. It's got a distended jaw, as if it like could unhinge its jaw, the lolling tongue.
Yep.
Just looking into malevolence. You know, looking at the face of hell. It just does not look human, so that's why I say it could be a genuine photograph of a demon. This one was seen, witnessed, and photographed. You can see there's a translucent door at the top of the stairs through that. So it's just something bizarre. However it's defined, we can't know what it is. But look at the detail in that. It's got lips. It's got dentition.
Oh yeah.
Shriveled nostrils. The eyes. I can't look at that without being moved somewhat.
Yeah.
Because I know it was genuine. Just don't know what it was that was genuine. But he saw it, aimed his camera, had the presence of mind to take a picture, and then left.
That's terrifying.
Now, whenever I hear about a demon, that's pretty much the image that comes to my mind first.
Because if you still don't believe in ghosts and demons after watching this video, then I don't know what else will convince you.
In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, I ask you to leave my house, please. I command you to leave the house in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. I am reading the Father's prayers. Leave this house now. Leave in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. I command you to leave right now. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit.
This man's home is being diabolically possessed. Famous demonologists Ed and Lorraine Warren have talked about this so many times. And him reading from the Bible is only inciting it because you need to know the actual demon's name to cast it out of your house. Before you come for me, this is not AI. Watch this door as it opens and slams shut and tell me how he would have pulled that off. Nowadays, it seems like the paranormal is just being dismissed to AI when, in fact, it's real and it's out there. I used to be a believer until I investigated a haunted house myself and the scariest shit happened that could not be explained. But let me know your thoughts of this video in the comments below.
Hey, do you want to tell them or should I? It is time to go. Find a new place to live, man. That place definitely was haunted.
Okay, guys, check this out. Now, this is the demon face video, of course, and I'm pausing it throughout this video, and you will see that this guy shows up and looks through his kitchen window, and this is what he sees. Now, this is the story that I'm told. This is what he sees. It's like a cabin-like house, and then he looks through, and he sees this. Now, I want you to know, I'm not saying that I believe that this is real, but I am saying this. And people need to realize when disclosure really ultimately comes out, and the real truth is revealed, it's not going to be all good. Some of the things that are cloaking themselves, that are hiding in the shadows, are exactly stuff like this. Now, whether or not this is real, I can't tell you that. But I can tell you this, not everything is love and light. If you believe that, you're going to be sadly mistaken. I mean, you're just going to be really disappointed. Let's put it that way. Leave your comments.
The real reason that the government won't tell you the truth about aliens is because some of the government officials are aliens themselves.
NASA says the Curiosity rover is finding more possible signs of life on Mars. Scientists say the rover discovered organic molecules after carrying out a chemistry experiment never before done on another planet. The team says the molecules are not definitive proof of past life because they could have formed on the red planet or crash landed on meteorites. But they say it proves important Martian history clues have been preserved on the surface for more than 3 billion years. Now, scientists have to figure out how those organic molecules got there.
Y'all, he's actually dead. I confirmed it myself with police reports. And they're saying that the death was by self-unaliving. Don't comment on this video saying I'm wrong because the mainstream media hasn't reported it yet. Let me start to tell you guys how weird this is and why you should maybe know who it is. So he just did a live stream 2 days ago and was in very great health and very energetic. Then it was 10-11 a.m. that they get a call and they find him and the thing that he used to take his own life. This is where it gets weird. So David Wilcock is known for a lot of different conspiracy type situations. He was on Ancient Aliens years and years ago, even till recently. But when he left Ancient, he was doing seminars by himself and talking about very, very crazy things like Looking Glass and other three-letter agency activities. He also warned of something in the very near future coming, a great deception, you could say. Now, this information first leaked by people that were close to him, made it to Reddit, and now all sorts of sites, and I was able to find that exact police report. Now, disclaimer, I didn't agree with everything he says, but it's really hard to find someone where you can agree with everything they say. But one thing was sure, the path that he was on was he was going against everything right now that they are putting so much money behind to get us to believe. I mean, he even did this live talking about, is that guy the Antichrist? But look, the biggest thing is he had been in that game. There are probably NDAs that he had, and he started calling out everything for psyops the way that they actually are. With this big push for alien disclosure, it wouldn't surprise me if he came out and said exactly the way things are and what kind of entities are really ruling the Earth. Miraculous sleep, feeling great, energized to self-unaliving? I don't buy it. Do you?
I definitely don't buy it, but we've been watching the same script play out over and over, and I think by now we all understand that there's Project Bluebeam and a host of other agendas that are being played out right in front of our face, but the real question at the end of the day is, what are we going to do about it?
It's going to affect you. Now, if I don't have your attention yet, let me get you really scared. Are you ready? These are the 8 top humanoid robots that are on the market. I'm only going to focus on one. I'm going to focus on the one Figure 0 from Figure AI. Why am I focusing on them? They have contracts with the top 200 Fortune 200 companies in the world. They all have made their orders to order this robot. Not only have they put in orders, but they've also said, we want the robot to be smart, and they've given it huge amounts of data, their maintenance books. So a lot of these robots first will be deployed in jobs where human beings don't want to work, say in a factory, or people in mining who are about 1 kilometer underground in that heat. Nobody wants to work there. So these robots will be deployed there. So they've given all the data on all the manuals so these robots know what to do. Now here's the thing, not only do these robots have all the data from the top 200 Fortune 200 companies in the world, these robots have all the knowledge of every ChatGPT and AI ever given. That's what's inside the brains of these robots. It has the power of this intelligence of AI, plus all the knowledge of the top Fortune 200 companies, and this is being deployed this summer.
So the ultra-terrestrials, I'll just tell you, the ultra-terrestrials, I think, have you heard of the P-52s and the P-47s? Do you know what that is? They're us from the future. They're from here. They are you. They are me. They're from here, from the future. P-47 is present plus 47,000 years. P-52 is present plus 52,000 years. And basically there's a calamity, right? So there's like a apocalypse scenario in the near future. It wipes out most of like everything, man. And there's the ones that go underground and survive, right? And then there's the ones that somehow stay on the surface and miraculously don't die.
On my feed, a lot of people are talking about the passing of Dave Wilcock today. And of course, as a conspiracy theorist, I'm looking at his face and something doesn't look right. So I went to his page, I looked at his last 2 lives, and I did notice something that I did want to pull up, because I think if he has passed, it certainly wasn't today. He's been passed for a little while now. So if you have a look at his live stream that he did 2 days ago, there is something missing from the live stream that he did 9 days ago. And that is a distinct mole or freckle on his neck. Now, obviously, he could have had that removed within a few days within the same week, but I think it's very strange that he does look like he's wearing one of those CIA masks, and it just doesn't look like him in the last live stream. I think if he is gone, he has been gone for a while.
Fun fact of the day. Alexander Abian, a mathematician who taught at Iowa State University for 25 years, believed that, quote, virtually every problem could be solved by exploding the moon.
Everything that we know about time is a lie. Don't go looking at your clocks, let me explain.
So we recently had a quantum physicist write all about this theory that time is an illusion, and it's really insane. It essentially means that the past, the present, and the future are all happening simultaneously, so there's nothing really special about now, or what we would consider now. Then it also means that we could kind of rewrite all the laws of physics as we know them because they are deeply tied to time, or what we think of as time. And what is most exciting is that if we time traveled, we wouldn't remember doing it at all.
12th and 13th researchers have been lost, and what they were working on, plus these circumstances surrounding their passing, are the strangest yet. Over the past months, a troubling pattern of disappearances and losses of life has been noted for around 11 scientists working in the nuclear, quantum, and aerospace sectors. These include MIT scholars, NASA engineers, military scientists, and now these 12th and 13th researchers have been added to that list, with their cases being even more perplexing than the others. First is the tragic passing of James Moffat and his entire family. James was a decorated US Air Force test pilot who later worked as an engineer at NASA, where he took part in 14 space shuttle and ISS construction missions. James, his wife, and his 2 sons, who were also both engineers conducting research at universities, were all lost after their plane crashed in South Carolina. Second is the very odd passing of a prominent UFO research personality, David Wilcock, who has over 500,000 followers on YouTube. As shortly before his loss, Wilcock posted a cryptic message on X stating that he has been feeling, quote, some intense stuff recently, and expressing his love for his fans.
A food blogger named Kai Nan has gone viral for creating a bizarre translucent fried chicken wing that looks like glass, but keeps its flavor and crunch. Using molecular gastronomy techniques, he reconstructed the wing piece by piece, replicating the bone with collagen and gel, turning the meat into liquid and reforming it through spherification and recreating the crispy coating. The result is a nearly invisible, art-like chicken wing that blends science and cooking into an unusual culinary experiment.
Hey, there's definitely no good reason to have a clear, translucent chicken wing. It just makes no sense.
The Bible warned us about what I'm about to tell you. And if you know the Bible, you know I'm telling you the truth. So now they're saying that they found the body of Jesus in Egypt. You heard what I just said? A British anthropologist is now claiming that they found the remains of Jesus Christ, along with the Ark of the Covenant, are hidden beneath the Great Pyramid of Giza. And they're not saying this is a rumor. They're saying that this is where it's located. According to the claims, there's a sealed chamber, a double cave hidden between some stone blocks, deep inside the pyramid's southern passage. And inside that chamber is what could be the most controversial discovery in human history. They're saying that's where Jesus is. But I need y'all to remember what the Bible told us, because here's where it stops feeling like a coincidence. In Matthew 24, there's a warning, clear as day. If they tell you he's here or he's been found, don't believe it. Now think about what that means. Thousands of years ago, there was already a warning. And that warning was about a moment exactly like this. So either this is a discovery that changes everything, or this is the exact same scenario that they spoke about in the Bible. I need you to think about this. If the world accepts this, then everything shifts. And now you're left with 2 possibilities. Either it's real, or that warning that was in Matthew 24, verse 26, is absolutely speaking about right now. Pay attention.
Scientists have just created a male birth control, but a lot of people aren't happy because of what it does. Okay, so for years people have been trying to create a male contraceptive that actually works. Trying to do this in a way without hormones, surgery, and also, of course, without permanently affecting fertility. And while scientists at Cornell a couple of days ago say, well, they have taken a huge step closer to this, and well, take a listen. So a new study which was done on mice was published on April 7th, 2026, where researchers now have found a way to target the exact stage where sperm is made. made and basically press stop on it, like an on and off button, not permanently stopping it, but stopping it completely for a period. Now, as I say, this is where it gets crazy, because when they stopped the treatment and the mice stopped taking this medication, well, the sperm productivity came back, fertility returned, there was no issues whatsoever, and the mice were then still able to have a very healthy offspring. That was always the main concern with male contraception. So this could become a reversible, non-hormonal male birth pill that doesn't mess with testosterone and doesn't permanently affect your ability to have kids. But a lot of men out there are not happy with this, of course, because people are saying it's going to impact their masculinity and they're going to feel like a beta male if they take this medication. So now obviously this isn't in the final stages or ready for humans yet, but once they dial this in and fix all of the side effects, it could begin human trials a lot sooner than we think and then be rolled out to the world.
Don't want to eat candy, but the parasites in me want the candy.
There's a physics behind the tinfoil hat, if I may explain.
I wish you will.
Okay, yeah. So, discovered 170 years ago.
Yes.
Is that right? 170 years ago. Michael Faraday, a physicist in the UK, discovered that electromagnetic energy cannot penetrate shells of metal. It could be a cage or it could be just pure metal.
Yeah.
And there's a field that the metal interacts with the field, preventing the field from entering what's inside the metal. And it's called a Faraday cage. And the skiff that they have in the military, where they go in and have secret conversations,
right.
that is a Faraday cage. So
when the
so
president
if
goes
aliens
in there,
come down, the scary part is if they implant thoughts in us, game over, because then they control us. They make you think it's your own thoughts. So if that's the kind of alien that comes, and it's all in the book, the instructions in the book. If that's the kind of alien that comes, the only people who will be immune to that are those who wear tinfoil hats.
Did you know your chicken should bleed when you cook it?
And this is why I'm only buying my meat from Wild Fork. I ain't seen blood on chicken since I was a little girl, y'all.
Yeah, me either.
Let me tell y'all something. Wild Fork got the best meat I have ever tasted. Better than Whole Foods, better than Trader Joe's.
Does your chicken do
Wild
this?
Fork is the truth. And also I wanted to show y'all how good my chicken coming out. Ooh,
That be looking
baby.
good.
You know what? She makes a great point, because I don't remember the last time I've seen chicken bleed. But for that fact of the matter, we've seen food across all platforms, from fast food to all the food in the grocery stores, transform. And it's nothing like what it used to be.
Man right here.
I'm not sure whether to call cap on that or not. If you missed it, rewind that back and peep his feet.
It's crazy how if cameras didn't exist, you would not believe this was real. To be fair, that's a man in a bird suit, that's his business, but they do get that big. This is the dinosaur the land before time left behind, literally. The condor is only the largest bird of prey with a wingspan in the neighborhood of 11 feet, and I want you to just think about how big that is. Or I could just show you, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's a teenager. Those wings mean they can spend hours in the air without flapping. In fact, one covered 100 miles in 5 hours, all that and no flap. Back in the day, the venti-sized vulture would have preyed on past tense prey like mammoths, bison, and giant ground sloths, and all the plus-size options were likely how the condor got so big. But when mammoths and super sloths got discontinued, the mega tweety still managed to stick around, albeit with their range receded. The real-life Dynablade can also live for 70 years, making condors one of the longest living birds on Earth. The population almost got past tense too, due to DDT, lead poisoning from bullets left in dead animals, and Johnny Cash. If you know, you know, and if not, just know that Ring of Fire wasn't just a song, it was a confession. But credit, humanity locked in and helped bring the big bird back from the brink, and folks would use hand puppets to raise them without them getting attached to humans. Somehow that's not what's happening here. Again, that's his prerogative. Somehow a flying coffin on steroids has a social hierarchy on par with chimps and wolves, and can even form deep emotional attachments, and not just with other condors. One man rescued an injured condor on his property, and now he's one of the few people alive that has a dragon doing flybys for affection. Just a giant Jurassic Lynn chicken that's looking for loving. The more you know.
These are 8 horrifying facts that will probably keep you up at night. In ancient Rome, soldiers used to drink fresh, warm blood to cure epilepsy. There are antidepressants that eliminate someone's ability to feel love and compassion. The Exorcist movie resulted in many of its cast dying, including 2 actors whose characters died in the movie. In 2017, an asteroid named AG-13 passed by our home planet with less than the distance of the moon. Scientists saw it coming only 2 days before it could could have hit Earth. One of the most haunted dolls is Robert. It belonged to a child named Eugene in 1904. The two most dangerous books are called Shams al-Ma'arif and Al-Ghazali. They carry rituals for summoning demons. In ancient England, people used tops of hollowed human skulls to drink and eat. At Harvard University, there's a book bound in human skin, like for part 6.
This is actually creepy. Watch this. The light's on in the living room. Okay. I turn it off. Watch what happens. Ready? 1, 2, 3. There's a silhouette right in front of me. Nah, this is messed up. I turn the light back on. There's nothing there. So where the hell is that shadow coming from?
Please, silakan. Bisa saya bantu? Mencari apa? Aku, enggak, langsung aja. Mau cari konten di mana? Yang bercowok sama cewek? Iya. Ini saya ada 2 rekomendasi. Cari yang lain ya. Nah, kalau ini lebih seger. Kalau yang ini lebih untuk ceweknya ya. Jadi cowok atau cewek? Orang dari itu kayak gitu. Apa anjir? Kalau dari sopo? Sumpah, masalahnya gue dari sini. Aku tuh bukan itu. Terus mereka aku ini kan orang.
She clearly opens the door for someone no one else can see. She keeps talking with the customer, asking about a perfume for a woman and a man. Moments later, her partner comes over and asks who she's talking to. And that's when it hits her. She's been speaking to something unseen. She explains she let a woman into the store. The man looks around, baffled. There's no one there.
Send her home. She's fried all the way.
Some of the scariest science facts that keep me from sleeping at night. The brain's response to fear is actually so powerful that you can literally be afraid to death. It's called voodoo death syndrome, and it's an emotional response in your brain that is so strong that your brain just shuts itself completely off and you die. One notable example is from 1964, where a completely healthy man suddenly died from an asthma attack after his mother cursed him for defying her. Lead used to be in a lot of things until they finally realized that it's actually really bad for people. Aside from death, it can actually cause IQ loss, which I don't know which is worse. But there's even a theory that the spike in serial killers in the 1970s was because of lead gasoline. And once they stopped putting lead in gasoline, there was a huge drop in the crime rate. And here we are still putting this stuff in Stanley cups, which honestly explains why everybody goes absolutely feral over it. Rabies in humans is absolutely terrifying because once you start showing any symptoms at all, you are now at a 99% chance of death. You basically have to know that you've been exposed to it, which is pretty easy when you get bit by a dog, but it's not easy when a tiny bat with tiny fangs pokes you in your sleep. You basically end up dying from dehydration because rabies makes you literally afraid of water. So if water starts tasting a little bit funny to you, you might want to go to the doctor, but it's also already too late.
Facts about the ocean that are scarier than any horror movie. First up, I bet you didn't know that you can literally melt in the ocean. Because in the deep sea, there's something called hydrothermal vents that can reach up to 750 degrees Fahrenheit, which will allegedly cause your body to melt. But by then, you probably wouldn't even notice because all your bones would have likely been crushed by the pressure. The next fact is honestly even scarier to think about. You know how we have so many scary stories about sea creatures, like sirens, the Loch Ness Monster, or giant squids? Well, a lot of the creatures that used to be just a story are slowly being discovered as real. For example, the giant squid, which scientists found were not only real and over 59 feet in length, but are also cannibals. If that's not bad enough, here's more. Because the ocean is basically a giant graveyard. In 2014, researchers diving into an underwater cave in Mexico found the remains of a girl estimated to be 13,000 years old, meaning there's a high likelihood that if you go missing or drown that you would probably never be found. There's also 10 million viruses in every drop of seawater, meaning viruses in the ocean outnumber all of the stars in the Milky Way. The actual number is estimated to be 1 nonillion, which is a number I've never heard before, but here it is written out. That itself makes me never want to go swimming in the ocean again. Follow for more.
Escargot is older than civilization itself. Some of the oldest large-scale snail eating began in prehistoric North Africa. Archaeologists found giant snail shell piles in Morocco and Algeria. Many showed signs of being cooked. These snails were about the size of your hand. They were easy to gather and packed with an insane amount of protein and nutrients, so humans looked at them and said, dinner. Then the ancient Romans arrived and made snails elitist. They started farming them like tiny slimy cattle. As Rome declined, snails became peasant struggle food across Europe because they were free and literally everywhere after it rained. Then France said, wait, if we cook them in garlic butter, put them in special dishes and charge too much, then this becomes elegant. And somehow it worked. Snails became for the elites. Again, eventually fancy restaurants everywhere got the memo, and here we are. Today, snails are starved for days to purge their digestive systems, so you don't eat snail poop. Some starve to death. And if they're undercooked, they can carry parasites like rat lungworm, which causes meningitis. All this for an animal you can accidentally step on. So once again, poor people food was rebranded by Europe into rich people food. Thank you.
You know, when it comes to food, I'm pretty open. You know, I'll try anything once, but when it comes to snails, escargot, if you will, I'll pass. Definitely pass. Well, you guys, hey, that's another one in the books, man. Hey, I appreciate you guys for always stopping by, watching, and learning with me. If you haven't already, do me the biggest favor and smash that like button for me. Hit that hype button and subscribe if you're not a part of the iTrack fam, and I will definitely catch you on the next one.